what was the situation before you had CC? Like, what were the problems you were tackling, and what made you think, okay, there has to be a better way to go around this? So let's start this time with Michael.
So some of the challenges that we faced before implementing condo control were a real lack of information. So in the condominium industry, we generate so many documents. There are tons and tons of documents that create documents, disclosures, financials, there are tons of documents. And owners didn't really have a useful and easy way of accessing all these documents. So we implemented condo control as a way of allowing owners to access what they want when they want. Doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m, 6 months later, or if it's a second after we release something, they have access to it. So it makes things much more self-service. And the other challenge I want to quickly go over is reporting and recording work orders. So when an owner requests something and they just send it to some random email in my company, it's hard to keep track of. It's hard to keep track of just all sorts of different information coming in. So what we do is, if an owner sends us a work order, we actually ask them to upload it into condo control. And that way the manager assigned to that property can actually deal with that work order directly. So it keeps things centralized, keeps things organized.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's move on to Mark.
So in our case, we had pretty much a perfect storm for people welcoming adoption of Condo Control Central. And it's not necessarily a way I'd recommend, but it makes things a lot easier to sell when you're trying to implement something new. And the situation we had was the prior condo management or owner communication software that we used had been an abysmal failure. I won't say who it was, but their service and support was horrendous. They would take months, literally months at a time, sometimes to respond to problems, lots of downtime. So our owners were very frustrated. The person who had been maintaining it on our side had recently left, and I stupidly walked into the situation and volunteered to take over. And so luckily the contract was within a month of being up. So I started doing research on other options we could take and settled on condo control based on a lot of the positives I found on the website, plus a lot of the things I saw that I had, features that it had that we needed and wanted. This may be somewhat jumping ahead, but dealing with the older demographics. The association I am part of is a 122 unit condo in Siesta Key, Florida, near Sarasota. And it's literally all older demographics. It's all retirees such as myself, and I'm on the younger end, most of whom are non-technical savvy. And so one of the first challenges they wanted me to do was to put together a phone book, because apparently every year when all the snowbirds arrived, everyone wanted to get a contact phone book to be able to contact their old neighbors and learn about the new neighbors and so forth. And I found that the data was all over the place. The person who had been doing it before did it with a spreadsheet that was not Excel and not industry standard. Another person had another list, a third person had it, and trying to reconcile them was a nightmare. Then formatting, printing, all of the above. So I looked for, first of all, I wanted to get everything centralized into a common database, and ideally have the owners be able to maintain the information themselves rather than having 2 or 3 of us scrambling all the time to find out whose email and phone numbers and such. So again, condo control met the need, and after looking at it, we signed on for a contract.
Perfect. Thank you. So basically, the problems you were facing were lack of a single source of truth, data spread all over, very much of manual work,